Adventure 7. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. "What in the world have you done to Linda?" Robert demanded with a wry smile as he joined Tom and I at our table. "She's back there typing away like someone possessed." "Tom," I said, "this is Robert. He's in charge of our new website. Robert, Tom is the inventor I've been telling you about." Robert raised his eyebrows as he shook Tom's hand. "No wonder she's so charged up," he grinned. "Hey, can you come up with some ideas for the store's webpage?" "Absolutely not," replied Tom without hesitation, though the smile on his face remained. Robert looked a bit surprised, but I could see a lesson coming on. Sure enough, Tom continued, "I don't know the first thing about web development or design. However, Robert, I can help you come up with some ideas for the store's website." Robert seemed relieved. "Thank goodness. I've been drawing blanks." As usual, Tom didn't waste any time. Let's start with a new group of boxes that I think might be particularly appropriate for this. The Change the Design boxes. Tom clapped his hands together, startling Robert, who wasn't yet used to his enthusiasm. First box, change the shape. When I'm trying to solve an engineering problem, I look to see whether the entire system, or any part of it, could be improved or made useful by changing it from balanced to unbalanced, or from straight to curved, or of course, the other way around. Tom proceeded to clarify. 2 examples. Once, I had to design an industrial mixing device. When I looked in the Change the Shape box, I realized that designing the mixing bowl to be slightly out of balance would create a movement and vibration that would facilitate the goal. Another time, I was tasked with designing a runway for a small island. The problem was that no usable pieces of land were long enough to accommodate it. But when I looked in this box, I realized that if I made the runway curve slightly, I could fit it in the available space. "I can't very well change the shape of our website," Robert objected. Tom and I exchanged a quick smile. "Don't be so literal," Tom replied quickly. "Think more in terms of associations and metaphors. Here's how I see it. Most people, and hence most businesses, like balance and symmetry. If it's in balance, that's good. If everything is equal, that's good. Equality is the American way. Or it was, anyways. Perhaps that's why everyone seems to have a bit of a blind spot about things that might be improved by making them imbalanced or unequal. Take customers, for example. For most businesses, a customer is a customer is a customer. They treat them all equally, right?" At this, Tom paused for dramatic effect. "But what if you didn't?" Robert's eyes lit up as he realized the implications of what Tom was saying. "Of course, you could treat them differently online because you can identify and categorize a customer when they enter the site. I've heard that data analysis can help us to understand if they're new customers or returning visitors, and whether or not they've made a purchase from us in the past. I need to do a crash course or two on how it all works, of course, but I bet I could pick it up. That could be really useful for us. We could offer them different deals," he added, "depending on how good a customer they are, whether they had bought recently or not, and based on their special interests." "Yes," I jumped in, "and we could do that without telling the customers, or we could openly categorize customers by buying level. For instance, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Compared to regular customers, bronze customers could get better deals and access to an exclusive bronze area of our site. Silver customers would get even more, and so on. It would reward people who bought more and could motivate people to buy even more." "See what happens when you start deliberately throwing things off kilter?" Tom pointed out. "Another thing I find about most people and most businesses is that they like straight lines. A line, after all, is the shortest distance between 2 points. Because of this, we tend to think very linearly. Everything is straight lines and direct routes, literally as well as figuratively. How can you throw your business some curves on your website?" Robert seemed to understand instantly. "Well, our website is very linear," he admitted. "You go from A to B to C. You enter, buy, or don't buy, and you leave. Perhaps it could be more like a circle. How do I make the visitor come back, either immediately, if he tries to exit the site, or in the future?" I resisted my urge to jump in, letting Robert take the glory on his ideas. "What if," Robert continued, inspired, "when they try to exit, we have a box pop up with a special discount offer that's good for only the next 10 minutes. I've seen this done before, and it sure works on me. that might stop customers from leaving. We could offer our online customers discounts on future online purchases. That could be another good tactic for increasing web sales. And what if we offered some sort of giveaway? A lead capture, I think it's called, in exchange for our web visitors' email addresses. We could send them weekly newsletters with special announcements, interesting book news, and special offers. There might even be a way to send different emails to different customers based on their purchasing habits. I'll need to look into it. That would create a kind of loop that could keep leading people back to the website. Tom noticed I was busily drawing on a napkin. "What's that?" he asked, nodding over to my doodle. "I'm redesigning the layout of the store," I replied without looking up. "You've made me realize how linear it is, just straight lines. People come in, walk up and down some aisles, and then leave. I realized that if it were laid out with more curves, I could create a kind of circular path, which would subtly encourage them to cover more ground and spend more time browsing." "Great," said Tom, nodding his head in approval. "You've moved from the literal level to the abstract level. Now let's look at another change the design box. Change the look. Here's where you can consider changing things like color, transparency, visibility, or porosity. On the engineering level, I love these kinds of solutions because the results are so, well, visible. Like anything made to glow in the dark. Like the hands of a clock or those little bumps that divide the lanes of highways. Highlighter pens, camouflage, smoke screens, transparent packaging that lets you see what's inside, porous packaging that lets what's inside breathe or evaporate moisture if it needs to. Okay, now Robert, I suppose you've heard about the importance of coming up with lots of ideas quickly." Robert nodded and winced jokingly. "You're on now. Just say whatever comes into your head in response to what I say. Ready?" Tom asked, setting up the timer on his phone again. Visibility. Robert took a deep breath and plunged in. "We could make certain things on our website stand out more to guide people where to go next. We could make the website navigation buttons more visible so people would know where to go next. Especially the buttons that lead them to places we really want them to go, like the ordering section." "Good." Transparency. Maybe we shouldn't be so discreet about the fact that we're trying to sell people books. We could say right up front that we want to earn their business and that we're going to do it by giving them useful information that applies to them on our website and in our newsletters. We'll say that we want them to get to know us better, because once they do, we just know that they'll like us and be more likely to give us their business. Good. Now, what about something you would make less transparent? What is something that might be improved by being more hidden? Let's see. Well, it would be best to make our online visitors feel like they're our one and only visitor, rather than just a number. I mean, that's how we try to make the in-person experience of shopping at our store, so why shouldn't it be the same online? We could do this easily online with some personalized touches, such as using their name if we have it, customizing what they see for their interests, and so on. Porous, Tom threw out next. Goodness, now that makes me think of how, right now, our site is filled with holes we need to fill, where people can just drop out because they got bored, confused, or frustrated. But in a way, Robert continued, without even glancing at Tom for approval, it should also be more porous. In terms of multiple entry points, we need more ways people can get to our site, like search engine listings, social media ads, using the website in our advertising, link building. Wow, I never knew I had so many ideas in me. Most people do, said Tom. They just don't have a good system for getting to them. Well, you've certainly helped me get to mine, Tom, said Robert, standing up to take his leave. Now, if you'll both excuse me, it looks like I've got quite a bit of redesigning and programming to do. Thanks for helping me come up with these fantastic ideas, Tom.